Hello, with this session we will be discussing Operation Security Domain. One of the key aspects that would be identified is monitoring. I'm Kester Rawlins and this is iTech 360. Monitoring. Problem identification and problem resolutions are the primary goal of monitoring. Monitoring contains the mechanisms, tools, and techniques that permit the identification of security events. Monitoring contains the actions to identify the important elements of an event to report that information appropriately. In this slide, we will be discussing some of the concepts of monitoring. Monitoring for illegal software installation. This is basically monitoring is set up within the company to monitor for software installations that could further compromise on the company's security. We have also monitoring the hardware for faults and error states. In various companies where you have hardware as the backbone operation for the company, such as routers and switches, monitoring is very important to ensure that, or also to detect faults and error states in the hardware. Which means basically if you don't monitor, you won't be able to know or detect hardware errors or hardware faults in the system, which could result in downtime of the company's operations or their network security. We also have monitoring operational events for anomalies. This is another form of security monitoring where operational events are monitored for any unusual activity or anomalies. Here we will be discussing some of the monitoring techniques. Some of the monitoring techniques involves intrusion detection, penetration testing, and violation processing using clipping levels. Let's start with intrusion detection. Intrusion detection is a useful tool in detecting analysis of intrusion attempts. This can be used also to create a sampling of traffic patterns. Intrusion detection also analyzes activities outside of normal clipping levels. A security practitioner can now find evidence of any events such as band signaling or other system abuses through intrusion detection. Penetration testing. Penetration testing is a process of testing a network's defenses by attempting to access the system from outside. An example of this is where you have security personnel or hackers where they are hired to test a network or test a company's security network by attempting to access internal information or the network system from outside. The process involves using the same techniques that an external intruder would use. Key example, as mentioned previously, you may have a hacker, a hired hacker, or a hired penetration tester to attempt to get into the network to test its defenses, to test its level of security. As we can see, the purpose is to give security professionals an idea of the organization security level or posture. Here we will be discussing some of the techniques that are used in penetration testing. We have scanning and probing. This involves where port scanners are used to reveal information about a network's infrastructure and enable the intruder to access the network's unsecure ports. So basically you have devices and or software that would scan for available ports or breaches in the network's infrastructure, giving the intruder access to the network. We also have demon dialing. Demon dialing or war dialers automatically test every phone line in an exchange to try to locate modems that are attached to the network. Information about these modems can be used to attempt external unauthorized access. Another technique used in penetration testing is sniffing. Sniffing is where a protocol analyzer can be used to capture data packets that are later decoded to collect information such as passwords or infrastructure configurations. So these are basically a recap of 3 of the techniques used in penetration testing. Violation analysis. One of the most used techniques to track anomalies in user activities is violation analysis. Violation analysis techniques involve activities such as tracking, processing, and analysis to track anomalies. In order for violation analysis to be effective, clipping levels must be established. So we probably are wondering, what are clipping levels? Clipping levels is a baseline of user activities that is considered a routine level of user error. Have you ever tried, an example of this is, have you ever tried to log into your workplace about 400 times at around 3 o'clock in the morning? Most people probably have not, right? So clipping levels are a way to allow users to make an occasional mistake. A clipping level is a threshold for normal mistakes a user may commit before investigation or notification begins. That brings us to the end of our monitoring slide in one of our modules, Operation Security Domain. Thank you for listening, and I'm Kester Rawlins for iTech 360.